It took me about 4 weeks to finish the paint correction on this black Impala. Day one with every single paint correction is basically just coming up with a game plan, studying the paint, and seeing what my options are. As I'm inspecting the condition, you can see there's a lot of faded paint, there's a lot of dust nibs, swirl marks, we have scratches, we have orange peel, we have texture. There's a lot going on, and this is a very large car. The request from the owner was to try to reduce the orange peel and of course bring back the shine. So my plan will be starting with a very high grit from 2000 to 2500, doing a rotary cut, a medium cut, and a final polish. Of course, I run a business, so I had other cars here and there in the time that I took on this project. But of course, the goal with an all black car is to have it done right and make it look good in the sun. Let's talk about some of the hurdles that I encountered during this Impala. One of the biggest hurdles is understanding that we definitely won't get perfection, but we can definitely shoot for it. And with a big black car, that's not an easy task. Color sanding and wet sanding a large car that is black is a very challenging thing to do because it's a mirror, and every single corner, every single area that you don't pay attention to will show at the very end. And it becomes a circle that you chase over and over with every single panel. And one thing I always mention in my videos is trying to match the finish on every door, every fender, every quarter panel needs to be the same. Any type of wet sand and buff requires a lot of confidence. You have to really know what you're doing step after step when you're taking on a job like this. Even after learning this is a single stage paint job, I'm still doing my 2500 grit light sand, and I'm still matching the finish all the way around the car without causing any burn or any damage to the paint, and focusing on that mirror-like finish. Normally, I would honestly advise to not color sand or wet sand a single stage paint job, but in this case, we kind of had to. It's black. It had a lot of things going on. A lot of the faded areas were just faded. A lot of the weird texture areas needed to be removed, and I felt like I was able to get it done, so I did. I want to give a huge shout out to the owner of this car because she was super patient with this entire process, and I explained that I definitely don't want to rush a job like this. I want to make sure that I take my time on every single step that I take on this car. There were some spare side skirts that had been clear coated, and I went ahead and sanded those down, got rid of all those fisheyes, left them nice and smooth. I replaced some of the aluminum fender liners with brand new ones. This Impala was coming together so well. I'm glad to say that the time I invested into this car was definitely worth it. Let's check out the final results.